Hello. And welcome everybody to a new video in the series Space Review. Now today's space, frankly speaking, is a bit more unusual. It is not your ordinary bench, it is not your ordinary chess seating arrangement, it is not your ordinary stool, it is not your ordinary toilet seat. It is a pocket park, a corner park if you like, that occupies this leftover space here between the wall over there and the building over here. Now, the thing that makes this special is obviously not so much these benches, although they are pretty nice per se. It is this here, this sort of wooden platform, or wooden platforms, I should rather say, around this majestic tree structure. Now, this is a big tree. I'm not telling you a secret, you probably can't see the top of it. And this platform around it is as nice as you would imagine it. It is wide, it is spacious. You can sit on it here, something like this. Or you can sit on it here, something like this. Now these benches here are kind of an addition, an introduction, if you like, an epilogue to the main arrangement over there. You can easily sit 4, 6, 12, 24 people here, depending on their size, and share games, drinks, crackers, pop rocks, whatever you're into over this table. Now, one thing that is unfortunate is the quality of this table. The wood is falling apart. The stuff that's written on it with some white adding or chalk or God knows doesn't help much. There's bird poop, old leaves, and sooner or later, in a few seasons from now, I will not be surprised if someone falls through one of these benches in a sort of desperate attempt for a last sit. So you can see that's not really something you want to get too much skin on, simply due to the risk of unheard diseases we have no vaccinations for yet. So tables like this, although mostly in white, one can often find in cities like Berlin, where workers on their lunch break eat a currywurst, a curry sausage, with a semi-dry and half-crispy bread roll on the side. Usually people would have the curry sausage coming from the counter, put them here, and then lean on it, something like this. Now, you see the issue here. This table is not very steady at all, and probably if I wanted, I could take it. It is actually quite fixed, just not very stable for whatever reason. Not very nice, but at the same time you can really lean into it, depending on your level of drunkenness at this time of the day. You can swing a little bit, let the thoughts roll, something like this. Now, this is the centerpiece. This must have been the first and primary idea when it came to the space, to build a wooden platform around this magnificent tree that will protect you from the rain, will protect you from other things that might fall out of the sky, and will simply be a nice point of attraction, Instagrammable. Yeah, this is quite extraordinary. I myself favor this over all the other spaces we have seen so far, and I think it's really, really beautiful. And of course, you're gonna sit here with your friend group, 1, 2, 3, little bit of a gap, another friend group, 1, 2, 3, little bit of a gap, another friend group, 1, 2, 3, and it is very, very nice. Now, of course, again, same issue, the wood needs perhaps a little bit of a touch-up, if nothing else, a little bit of a clean-up. If you look here at these edges, the wood, idea-wise, nice, but the wood finish is very sharp, and that has as a consequence, a child, a dog, someone barefoot can very easily get a splinter if not already suffering from a stone in the foot by having walked here, because this area has some pebbles around, some of them with the sharp side turned up, and it might be very difficult. If it does rain and the wood is a little bit mossy, such might happen when it's kind of under a tree, then it can get very slippery, which can in itself be very dangerous. So you see loads of risks, and it's probably best to wear some kind of overall soft bodysuit if coming here. But once managed in the early evening hours, I can only assume now in the cold end of January, where it doesn't look like something nice is about to happen here at all, that when spring comes, the Prague spring, it will be very nice here. I see here lights in the floor that will go on, and if you look up, in particularly over here, there are lights in the tree. They're actually connected with a quite intricate wiring system all the way through the tree. They go all the way down here. So just imagine the atmosphere. But what happens when a branch comes down? Who is in charge of it? What happens when someone gets a splinter? These are questions that eventually have to be dealt with, hopefully not only by consulting lawyers in a semi-nasty lawsuit, because actually I think all of these are common sense things, you know. Of course you can get hurt when you leave the house, although most accidents happen at home. Of course this can happen, of course that can happen. It can also happen that nothing happens and that you have a splendid time for once in your life. Yeah, but all these things need to be dealt with, and I'm sure someone at least has thought about them once. Now, as a sort of self-proclaimed member of the public sector, I feel it is my responsibility to inform you about the next available toilets for all the spaces we talk about, simply because 9 times out of 10 there aren't any in public space. Nowhere. In no city, ever, which is ridiculous if you really think about it. As if people suddenly didn't have to pee as soon as they leave the house. But of course they do. Well, if you have to pee here, the options are scarce. If this is a full platform with different families and different activities, obviously you're not gonna pee here. Whether you're a man or a woman, a he, she, they, them, it's unpleasant to pee here. There's also no bush you could really crawl into, and God knows what you would even find inside. So you probably might consider this corner, which if this was all dark, maybe you could get away with if you do it secretly, if you don't pee too loudly, maybe it would be fine. But even then, you run the risk of overstepping this very subtle boundary that is here. I don't know if the camera can capture this. So there's actually a metal boundary behind which a garden, a flower arrangement starts. We see some flowers are still blossoming, and this boundary, to overstep it, is strange. Especially because there are some kind of water hoses here that will water all of this, and in summer and spring it will blossom even more. So you're essentially not only going to pee, you also do it at the risk of destroying something. Well, apart from the fact that there's actually a lot of rubbish here, mostly tissues, which makes me think that actually it has been used as a toilet. Which is maybe fine if you don't do a big business out here. Well, I guess when you have to go, right? So thanks everyone for watching also this episode of Space Review. This time it was more than a bench. It was a wooden platform here in Prague 7, an area that I've really enjoyed and probably will visit myself many times.